welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Daniel Lim and MV Chu. Hope you boys are good. Lim, I'll start with you. Quite a few cards over the weekend, mostly average. I'll throw it over to you. Where do you want to start?
You know what? I think to continue the trend of average fights, let's just start with the Showtime card then. This was the 154-pound MV True Mercenary Shit division, like I mentioned last week. Just a bunch of... To tell you the truth, I think the card was good on paper. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but they're all, I'd say, top 5, top 10 level guys at 154.
Yep, I agree.
But I think that's more of a representation of the level of fighters at 154. And it's tricky because I'm not going to say that 154 is a wasteland, like at 160 or 168. Because I actually do think some of those guys are pretty talented.
We got a lot of mic noise off you, Chew. I don't know what you're doing.
Sorry, man, I'll just mute myself.
Go on, Lim.
Yeah, but Jesus, terrible sound quality from Chew, like always. Typical. No, I'm totally kidding. I love you, Chew. No, but going back to the 154-pound division, I think there's talented guys at that weight division, but I think what was pretty apparent from my perspective was that they're very, very one-sided fighters. They're very one-dimensional fighters, rather. So a guy like Lara obviously is a very good fighter on his back foot. He's got very good movement. However, like his previous fights, he just doesn't fucking engage, and that drives me crazy. Von S is a very basic fighter who shows signs of being a very good fighter, but he doesn't know how to put it all together for a full 12 rounds. And then a guy like Trout has absolutely no power. He has no power whatsoever. He caught Jamal with some good shots, but it didn't have any kind of impact on Jamal because he just doesn't have power behind his punches. And, Jermell Charlo, I thought was the most disappointing fighter of the night. I've always touted Jermell as a highly skilled guy, but he just doesn't know how to cut the ring off. And that to me was just kind of mind-boggling considering his size and his speed. So yeah, I guess I can summarize all three fights just by saying that, that division, I don't think there's really a top-level guy. I think the top two fighters at 154 are probably Lara and Jermell Charlo. And even if those two guys fight each other, I don't think anybody's going to really give a shit, to tell you the truth.
What about Andrade?
Of course, Andrade, yeah. Andrade is in there somewhere. But who's Andrade's last opponent? Was it Rose, Brian Rose?
No, I think he had a comeback fight against a nobody. But yeah, Rose was his kind of biggest last fight.
Yeah, so that weight division to me is a wasteland, not necessarily in talent, but just a wasteland in terms of a lack of interest generated by these fighters, just because none of them really do anything spectacularly well. There's really no single individual that stands out. And I thought Jamal was going to be that guy because I've always touted Jamal so highly. He has a size. The guy is so big for a 154-pounder. I have absolutely no idea how he makes that weight class. He was towering over Austin Trout. And even then, Trout took him to a 12-round decision. Trout's a good fighter, but I felt like if Jamal wanted to make a statement for his first big fight, stepping up on Showtime, I felt like he should have knocked Trout out. Obviously, that's a lot easier said than done. But again, these are all guys that are, I think, just going to battle each other for these titles that really are meaningless. Again, that WBC title that Jermell Charlo picked up, the way he won it was just so indecisive, in my opinion, because I had Jackson winning that fight by a couple of rounds up to that point. And again, Jermell just couldn't capture him as he was fighting on his back foot. And again, I think the fact that I am having a lot of difficulty telling the difference between Jermell Charlo and Jamal Charlo kind of sums up what I think about that weight division. It doesn't really mean much to me, to tell you the truth.
I think they need to go back to one having braids and one having short hair, because that made it a lot easier before.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying, Tony Yayo in the chat also mentioned J-Rock as a potential ruler of that division.
I think J-Rock looks good, but again, it's his opposition. Who's J-Rock's best name up to date? I really don't know. I followed J-Rock pretty closely a couple of years ago, but his lack of opposition, like for me, if you don't step up soon, I just kind of lose interest in that fighter until I see them against a top name. But I know J-Rock was interviewed by that Showtime doofus who was doing the in between fight interviews. So hopefully he fights one of the Charlos and one of the other mandatories get made. But to tell you the truth, I think at this point the top 3 guys for me is Jamal, Lara, and Andrade. So yeah, but it's pretty lackluster to tell you the truth, man. That entire tournament was pretty shit.
I call it the Shark Tank. Chu, what was your thoughts on that Showtime card?
Yeah, what are my thoughts? Indeed, the one that we're all waiting for. I've been anticipating this card for months. I did want to call it the Shark Tank. However, really the performances of the fighters really didn't justify such a comparison to a deadly predator in the most dangerous environment, which is the ocean. Martirosyan, he always kind of flatters to deceive. He never really wins a fight convincingly when he's up against elite opposition. And Erizlandi Lara is exactly the same. These guys can't close the show, so to speak. I thought the fight was, I'm not going to say dog shit, because it was good. Well, not as good, average. And I definitely think that for whatever reason, both these guys don't gel, they don't mesh. So why you would want to see a rematch of a very mediocre fight when there's no title on the line, no eliminator? It's almost like sadomasochistic. How do you pronounce that one? I don't even know.
Masochistic.
Massive one. I know you would know that. And I just thought the fight itself was dog shit. Martirosyan, he was obviously watching the Canelo-Lara fight, because Lara doesn't like it to the body, and Martirosyan was taking it there. I disagree with the decision. I would actually give it to Martirosyan. I don't really like Lara's style. I thought he just touches and moves. He doesn't really kind of punch with authority, even though he's got the power to do so. These guys are bomb diffusers. They don't throw bombs, they diffuse them. Both kind of counter-attacking styles. Very awkward styles matchup. It's like a mongoose against a swan. These guys are known as people who tackle the dangerous animals and counterpunch, but to make a good fight with either one of these guys, you need an attacking fighter. Both of these guys are not really that. And I've got nothing more to say about it. I just thought, I thought Martirosyan's, to quote Jay-Z, he started with a spark, but then he got garbage. And I never want to see either of these guys fight again.
I've always said, with Rigo, it's so difficult to watch, and Lara is so difficult to watch because you see the talent there, but when they're not engaging, they need to understand it is a prize. It is prize fighting. They're here to entertain, and I really enjoy watching Lara when he throws punches. He throws them so well. It's just he doesn't do it enough. He doesn't throw enough. He doesn't engage enough. He's always on the back foot, pedaling away, circling away, lateral movement, and I had it 7-5, but it was like in the early hours of the morning. But I didn't think Varnes won. Like Varnes crying afterwards, I didn't think that was valid. I thought Lara won, but not a really entertaining fight. It's just one of those ones that's just forgettable. Like you'd never watch that fight again. Like if that's on YouTube, you're never gonna look for it and watch it again. There's no need. I agree with Lim.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with Lim, Lara and Andrade, and probably Jamal Charlo are the dudes at that division. J-Rock, again, I agree. He needs a step-up fight. He needs a name. Like I was just looking at his resume when Lim was talking about like he needs a step up. Who has he really fought? And like the names are just like D-level guys that you heard fight a guy that you kind of followed a couple of years ago and then stopped following when after he got a couple of losses.
That's because he's getting ducked.
That's understandable, but then put yourself into a mandatory position where they can't duck you. They have to drop the belt like Canelo. Sorry, Lim.
No worries. Yeah, this weight division, to me, is a lot of guys that, in terms of, they're guys who, when they were coming up, I was pretty high on because they passed the eye test. They all look like pretty talented fighters. I mean, definitely from a physical standpoint, they all look really solid. They all have the skills. They all have these spurts of showing very good boxing skills, like the Charlo brothers, for example. I was very, very high on because the way that Jermell just completely dominated, albeit the ultimate gatekeeper in Gabe Rosado, it was still impressive to me, just the way he absolutely shut him out. And against Jamal, I just thought that his power was going to be a huge problem at 154 moving forward, but that didn't really play itself out on Saturday night against Trout. And obviously Lara, like you mentioned, Cam, this guy, he has one of the cleanest 1-2s in the game. He has great footwork, and he has power behind his shots. I mean, that left hand is a thing of beauty, but he just doesn't throw it. And I should give him credit against Angulo. The hematosis that occurred in Angulo, I felt that was completely from Lara. And I know this may sound a little crazy, but you can make the case that his performance against Angulo was, just as good as Canelo's, just because he did stop Angulo rather legitimately, rather than having the referee have to stop it. So these are they're very, very frustrating fighters for me to watch, all six of them. And even Andrade, I mean, I don't know anything about Andrade. I mean, his best name is obviously Vanes. And I mean, we just shat on Vanes for the past 20 minutes. So it's hard for me to gauge these guys. So, what I do want is, I do want Lara to step up to 160 and get his ass knocked out by Triple G, because that is what's going to happen if he ever does fight Triple G. And
yes,
and I really don't give a fuck about these guys, to tell you the truth, Cam. I mean, you know me, I've kind of turned into a casual fan, and I don't really give a fuck about these guys at 154. They don't mean anything to me.
I know you don't, but just a few more things before we move on, because I just wanted to get your two opinions on it. The Jamal fight with Trout, what do you think occurred, like, in the second half of the fight? Did Jamal just take his foot off the gas? Did Trout just find his feet a bit? Like, there was a change in the way the fight was playing out, because Jamal was winning quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think a part of it was Jamal's lack of experience. I'm not quite sure how many times he's been past 6-7 rounds in his previous fights. Like I mentioned, his power was something that always impressed me, and obviously when you have power, your fights don't last as long. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure why he took his foot off the gas pedal, because that's kind of a coming out party, if you will, against Austin Trout, and it just seemed like both guys were content, not really land anything of worth, and that just frustrated the shit out of me. So yeah, it was a very strange type of fight. I mean, Trout doesn't have anyone to blame except himself. I mean, I thought he lost that fight very handedly. But yeah, I don't know what you think, Chu.
Yeah, Trout was getting his ass kicked at the start, and then he kind of rallied back. He landed like a lot of good shots, had Charlo in trouble a few times. It's just one of these fights where you watch where it's like a lot of jabs. Really fucking jabby fight. I can't really... both these guys' styles. I like Jermell a lot more. The brother that was fighting John Jackson, I like him a lot more than I do this brother.
What?
Yeah. I know that it's Jamal who fought Austin Trout, right?
Yeah, Jamal fought Trout. Jamel fought Jackson.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the brother who fought Austin Trout better in the sense that he's a better fighter, clearly.
Yes.
But stylistically, to watch, entertainment-wise, the brother that fought John Jackson, he's better. Because I don't know why he just seems to finish a fighter who's hurt more. Even if he's slightly hurt, he just jumps on him, gets him out of there. In my experience of watching him fight.
It's really funny that you mentioned that, because Jermell historically was known as a fighter who was very boring to watch, because he was the one who always played it safe. But he recently left his trainer Ronnie Shields, and he went to train with the guy who trains Errol Spence to become a more offensive-minded fighter. And I think that's the reason why he shat the bed on Saturday night in terms of his inability to cut the ring off. he was so sloppy, and it was really a lucky stroke of fate that allowed him to win that fight in terms of hurting Jackson's eye, and Jackson just fighting like a complete moron in terms of giving his back to Charlo and not taking a knee. That cost him the fight because he was winning that fight, like we mentioned earlier, and just that lack of experience really cost him. But I think it's funny that you mentioned that because Jermell, I think his enjoyment for Yuchu, I think really cost him in terms of his fighting ability. So I think he needs to find that middle ground of learning how to be more patient and learning how to cut the ring off against fighters on the back foot.
Man, I'm confused with these two fighters. I don't know who's who. I'm seriously, this isn't a joke.
No, I agree.
I know everyone in boxing has got the same problem. I keep thinking that they fought. I'm getting confused with the guys they fought. Like I keep thinking that the guy who fought Austin Trout scored a highlight reel knockout his last fight, but I know it wasn't him. I know it was his other brother. So I'm just honestly getting confused.
It was Jamal, smashed up K9 Bundridge.
That's it.
And Jamal's more the boxer, so you got to think like he beat Varnes on points. He beat Rosado on points. Yeah. But
he knocked out John Jackson.
Yeah. They had an opposite reversal of roles on Saturday. But I just need to emphasize what Lim said, man. Jackson, what an idiot, man.
Oh my God.
You got the fight not in the bag because obviously there's still quite a few rounds left, but Charlo looks so uncomfortable. We use the word fish out of water. I'd rather say shark out of water because it's the 154 division, but he just looked so uncomfortable just trying to go forward and trying to make the fight. Jackson's tactic was excellent, and what confused me was in his post-fight interview he was saying, I'm glad I surprised my dad. That wasn't the plan, but I was executing it quite well. It's like, then what was the original plan then? And like, why did you have a different plan to what your father set out for you? I didn't really understand that. I'd love someone to explain that to me.
Because, I don't know, Cam, but I don't even think that Jackson fought that well. I think the game plan was very good, but it wasn't. It shouldn't have been hard for Charlo to cut the ring off against him. Jackson didn't have good footwork. He was just bouncing on his back, though, just kind of circling around the wing, like beginning fighters do when they shadow box.
Yep, all he was doing is going clockwise, and that's it.
He wasn't using Lara-level footwork. He was just kind of bouncing on his back feet, moving side to side, and it was very predictable. That's what made it so mind-boggling for me that Jermell, a guy who I always thought was a good boxer, just looked like a complete moron in there trying to cut the ring off. I mean, he had him within distance, and he wouldn't even jab. I didn't get it.
Yep. So. Leon's jumping on. He'll probably say he doesn't want to say anything about this division. Leon, the Sharks, do you want to say anything before we move on?
Oh, about that Showtime card?
Yep. Just say no.
The weak sister, he looked terrible against John Jackson, or whoever he was fighting.
Great analysis here, Leon.
Yeah. The strong sister looked quite good against Trout. That was a good fight. I enjoyed that. And Lara was frustrating as ever. I hate this division.
That's a great summary, Leon. Thank you. Chew.
I hope someone's not listening to us for the first time.
If someone listens to the podcast for the first time, they'll never listen to it again.
Well, whatever. Look, I mean, that's how much that division excites me. And then Lara calls out Triple G and all this shit, and then he won't fight either the Charlo brothers because they're his friends. So he's a fucking fraud.
That's fair. Chew, where should we move to next? What country? What card?
O2 Arena.
O2 Arena for HayeDay.
Oh, HayeDay. Let's do it.
You start then, Chew. Your thoughts on that magnificent card?
Yeah, David Tay is now 0 for 2 in the O2. I fucking loved it. I loved every second of this card. It was really, really invigorating to the spirit to watch David Tay handle the Cobra like Steve Irwin in his prime. And he had the Cobra. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name.
That's why everyone calls him the Cobra. I'm the same. I was just going to call him the Cobra.
Yeah, I'm going to make no effort to pronounce that.
I hope Haye doesn't fight anyone who has a nickname Stingray next.
No, he'll get killed, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. There was a bad Steve Irwin joke in there. Sorry, Steve.
Oh, don't worry, I've got a few ones here. He had the spar on the trunks, did the Cobra. And really, it was after 10 o'clock, so he definitely shut up shop, hands high, really making no effort to attack David Haye. David Haye, he knew the fight was easy as fuck. He had his hands down the whole time, just fannying about the ring. You know, no danger whatsoever. He landed a good hard right hand, and the Cobra went down. And that was really, from what I recall, maybe the second punch landed in the fight. And after that, this Cobra guy, he just didn't want to be there. He went down from a jab. I believe it was in the second round.
He went down like a ton of bricks from a half-landed jab, yeah.
It didn't even land, to be honest. And, I was looking for a replay of that knockdown. You couldn't get one. And if you did get one, it was from the side, so you couldn't really see if the jab landed or not. I don't think it did. And it was really, I know you call it HayeDay, the card, but it really should be called Monopoly, because there's no competition. Everyone won that you expected to win. And it was just a really poor technique, I thought, even from David Haye. I don't know, he's not the same to me. I know he's fighting a guy who is a fucking bum. But his technique to me is a wee bit sloppy, like especially when he's punching in combinations. I thought he's kind of punching wide a bit. He's kind of punching like coffin shots all at the time. I never really saw that before in the old David Haye. The old David Haye would, like, every punch would fucking land, and it would land hard.
He looks a bit too big for me, man. He's
totally
put on a bit too much weight.
And the shorts are too short.
Oh, those shorts! Oh my god!
Fucking hell! I thought we might see a sight we might never be able to unsee again.
I thought it was 1970.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Hey Cam, I think David Haye's just been eating too many tuna sandwiches at Subway. That's what it is.
No.
Hey,
now you have to
guys how the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cam.
You have to explain that joke to everyone now. They won't understand it.
No, I'm just that's an inside joke amongst me and Cam, because when Cam spent the week in LA with me, he went to Subway every single morning and got himself a 12-inch tuna sandwich, 2 cookies, and an orange Fanta.
Hard work, dedication.
Hard work, dedication.
Cool story.
What were you going to say, Lim?
Come on. Stop being so salty. I wanted to ask you guys, so what was the what was the number of people who actually went to the O2 Arena for that fight?
It looked pretty packed, to be honest.
There's a lot of free ticket giveaways.
And was this on the TV channel Dave?
It was.
Yep.
That's unfortunate, just because I saw the card, and it was some of the worst boxing that I've ever seen. And it was WWE-esque. It was pretty pitiful to watch.
Yep.
It was
David Haye is going to fight Shannon Briggs. It really questions why I still watch the sport.
It was the most cynical boxing card I've ever seen on British TV, and possibly the worst card I've ever seen on British television. It was the most cynical. It was like watching The Bachelorette or something. I thought he was going to give Shannon Briggs the fucking rose at the end of it. It was just all set up and scripted. I pick you. It was just, I mean, I felt it could bring a man to tears. It was that bad. And that we come to such a low point in the sport where this many thousands of people are willing to turn up just to watch a name in the ring. This fight means nothing to anyone who cares about the sport. It was worse than the Andrew Flintoff card.
And that's saying something. Fucking David Haye, he's not even half the fighter he was, if I'm being honest, just looking at this. His punches were landing like Egyptian planes. Just, it's fucking terrible, man. It's just, and everything, he's like an overaged kid playing a kid's football game. He was just running through the opposition. And I'm fucking worried for the sport at this point. I know I've been kind it's kind of like the Eddie Hearn influence. Even these, I don't even know who promotes he. Is it Eddie Hearn? Because it looked like an Eddie Hearn card.
No, it's him and the O2 together. They have a deal. They're stealing money from people. It's trade. It's trade description act. Was that there was not one competitive fight on the card? It was all scripted to build up to take more money from people in 3 months' time in September, whenever it is. It is. He's on a money grab. He's on a pure money grab. I hope Shannon Briggs fucking ices him, but it won't happen.
Of course I won't. This is like world star hip hop. People watch boxing for 2 reasons: knockouts and competition. If you can't get one, you'll get the other. And they gave everyone a knockout, a couple. But I mean, it feels a knockout is always better if you've actually seen a competitive fight. And I mean, both the 2 main fights on the card were really disgusting.
Even the nightclub owner, Joe Fournier, got a stoppage in a 4-rounder. That's a 0-star fight on Box Right. I don't understand how David's Hay mate, who somehow got into white collar boxing, gets on TV time.
He's got loads of money.
That's a joke. Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you can get onto TV boxing.
He's probably paying for this fucking sham to happen. I've said it before. You'd rather be mugged in the street than pay money to go and see that fight. I mean, and I hold the people who paid for that ticket, that we should hold these people responsible for encouraging this shit. But they don't care about the sport. None of these fuckers are going to be up at 3 a.m. watching the fucking sharks of the division, are they? They're all out of their nut or in bed. So it's just not real boxing. That was not the sport that we talk about on this program. It was something else completely. It was like watching like Geordie Shores or something. It was like a reality TV program with some fighting mixed in. Yeah,
you know what's funny? Hayes' opponent fought Briggs' opponent in 2014, and they
went 7 rounds. Wasn't
it went 7 rounds.
Danny Garcia's dad.
Yeah, he did look like Danny Garcia's dad.
He really did.
That's fucking. The thing with David Hay is like he doesn't like criticism. Paul Dempsey criticised him a wee bit, and then he's out the door. So what did the commentators for this fight do? Suck up his arse.
Exactly.
They were playing it very, very nice.
Who was the expert? Who was that
Barry
guy?
McGuigan.
I heard of him. He was sweating his tits off.
Exactly.
He was under pressure. That was the first day on the job, wasn't it? First day in front of the camera. And Barry McGuigan will say anything for money, won't he?
Just because his son's training him
out
now.
of his mouth.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Barry, man, but come on, he's getting too much TV time these days.
If he was ever to have a heart operation, the dorsals would open up his chest and there'd be a pound sign on the fucking heart.
But it's just what they're willing to say, though. They're not there's no honesty to. It's just like watching a salesman talk to you, trying to sell you a car.
Yeah, you want him to say, look, this guy that Hayes fighting, he's terrible, Hayes shouldn't be fighting him, but he's never going to say that, and he's never going to say the same thing about Briggs' opponent, but I would love it if someone did. That's why I enjoyed Paul Dempsey so much on the last HayeDay, because he was giving David Hay those tough questions, and I know Kimo really enjoyed it, and the fact that he kind of got, not axed, but he didn't get the opportunity to present the second HayeDay. It's just it was a shame, and it just sums up David Hay. He doesn't want anyone to criticise him. He just wants guys to to lick his ass.
That guy has been in and around the sport for the last 20 years, presenting shows on different channels. I think he was on Satant at one point.
Sky.
He did the magazine program on BT. He understands what the sport is, right? So he asked the obvious question: canned. It's embarrassing. Only in our sport would you let someone who's so incapable be involved in something. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't just. it's like dragging a team up from a pub team up and putting them in the championship or something. It's not a sport.
Nope. All right, let's move on. This is
But I think more criticism is deserved on the fans and the dumbasses who actually watch the shit.
Yeah, but they're not fans. They're
well, then whatever the
fans
fuck they are,
they've seen on TV programs. You know, he's a kind of reality star over here as much as he is a boxer these days.
Well, that's a shame.
He's like a cowboy. He's like a cowboy builder. David Tay, you know, he's no pride in his profession. He's only in it for the money, and he will actually sell you something which you think is a finished article, but you kind of look at it close and you realise, man, I've just been done out of fucking a lot of money.
You'll have an extension on your house, but you have no roof on it.
Exactly, and I feel sorry for the fucking people who've bought ringside tickets for that pish.
I don't.
I feel sorry for myself for watching it live, to be honest.
Yeah, again, there you go. Again, Cam, you know I love you, but I think you're an idiot if you did watch it live. Honestly, because I'm always the type of person, if you can take advantage of a financial situation, by all means do it. If there's morons out there that are willing to buy or watch a product, then more shame on them than the actual people who produce a product. And I don't give a fuck about Shannon Briggs, too. I think that guy is such an annoying motherfucker. I hate the shit that he does for promotional issue. And I think if he fights David Haye, I don't know who I want to get knocked out more, because they're both fucking pieces of shit in my opinion. I don't give a shit about either.
Double knockout.
What we should do is just let Smoger ref it, and then maybe they both get knocked out.
Here's hoping. All right, let's move on. Leon, you choose the next card we're talking about.
Let's talk about Smoger.
That's a good transition. What were you going to say, Chu?
I mean, if Leon wants to talk about something else, that's cool with me. But did you not watch the Shannon Briggs fight?
What is it really to talk about the Shannon Briggs fight? You just beat up a bum, that's it?
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. I mean, Emilio Zarate, his name is. He's lost almost as many as he's won.
He looked like a light heavyweight.
Man, he looked so skinny he could fit through the side of this door. the gap between the fucking hinges and the door. And Shannon Briggs just fucking outweighed him. I mean, I can't believe that's like the fucking co-headline.
Yep. It's so obvious that he's on steroids.
I was going to say, yeah.
So obvious. But whatever. We'll watch it. And we're talking about it, so shame on us.
But who's licensing these fights? Who at the British board, is shaming themselves by signing that fight off? It's fucking disgusting. These people should be held to account. That's what I'm talking about. There's no regulation. This should not be, a man that poor should not be allowed to fight another man. Like, it's fucking ludicrous that these fights are signed off.
Yeah. No, you're right. That should be investigated.
But it's a money. That's what I mean. It's fucking daylight robbery, man. And they're after our money. They're not interested in anything else. They're just after our money to take your money and give you a shitty product. We're fucking. Look, Dan's right. The fucking idiots who pay for it.
Let's talk about the card.
They deserve what they get, man. Those people who buy those tickets. Fuck them.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Leon, you wanted to talk about Lebedev and Ramirez. We've criticised Ramirez for looking like a big fridge, and he kind of was a big fridge on Saturday night.
He was a big fridge, but Dennis beat the living shit out of him, didn't he?
Yeah, first round is kind of a bit cagey, kind of feeling each other out. But second round, man, like some of the uppercuts.
He landed on him in that first, didn't he? Though in the last half of that first round, he started to land.
Yeah,
and then he just, that guy crumbled, didn't he? Like mentally.
Yeah, those uppercuts though, Lebedev was catching it with, man. Fuck.
Smoger is a dangerous man, but I've got to say I miss him, man. I know people don't like to hear that, and boxers safety first, but I like a referee. I know everyone says it should be the one shot, you do it before the last shot, but
now when
something about him, man.
When Ramirez turned his back, though, I thought that was the time for Smoger to jump in.
Yeah, but how many good fights has he been involved in where people have seemed hurt, and then
They come
'cause
back.
He let it go a bit longer. They've come back. Was
That's
it
true.
Pavlik versus what's his name? And Pavlik was hurt really bad in the second round against Jermaine Taylor.
Taylor, yeah. The second one or the first one?
I can't remember which one it was, but he got hurt bad, and Smoger let it go. He survived the round. He came back and won the fight. So,
Yep.
Our British stoppages are horrible sometimes.
Yeah,
But
that's
that
exact
was an
opposite.
evil beating, though. It was an evil beating he took.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to get shit for saying this too, Leon, but I prefer the Smoger style versus some of the premature stoppages that we see in the UK. I mean, this is a blood sport. There's a reason why we watch this fight, and it's not for guys to go to decision.
Yep. But Dennis looked good, though, didn't he, Cam? And in a very strong division, there's some great fights to be made, and they're making great fights all the time in the cruiserweight. It's the best division.
Cruiserweight's becoming my favourite, man.
It's got the best depth. Any man in the top 10 could beat another man.
That's the thing, like, it's got guys that actually engage and throw, like, a lot of punches per round. Like, if you compare it to heavyweights, it's fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, heavyweights, they look lumbersome, they don't throw that many punches, well, majority of them. Where the cruisers go at it, they're all heavy-handed, or majority of them are heavy-handed, and they always like have a big tear-up, man. It's really enjoyable to watch.
And they're smooth enough punching to see the technique involved in it.
Exactly.
And they're top 10 are world-level guys. All of them.
I think it's probably one of the, apart from welterweight, it's probably the strongest division when it comes to in-depth.
Ramirez was the only fraud in there, really, because he hadn't beaten him. And what did an A-level guy in that division do?
Exactly.
Wipe him out in 2 rounds.
What did we say about Ramirez before? He was like the weakest belt holder.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what you do to the weakest belt holder.
Exactly. And look at Dennis. He's lost fights, taken beatings, come back, looking good.
Thank God Bellew didn't.
In the outfit.
Thank God Bellew didn't get a chance at Ramirez, because then he would have been world champion.
Oh, but I was telling you about my dream fight. Dennis versus Bellew.
That's not a fight. That's a massacre.
With Smoger as the ref.
Get the lube out, Dan.
Blindfolded.
And what I'm so surprised about Lebedev is how good he is at cruiserweight. I'm positive that if his head was just half the size that it is right now, he'd be able to make that 175-pound division. If he has the biggest head I've ever seen in person, it's remarkable. But I'm really happy for Lebedev. Obviously, he's a wild card guy, and he's one of the nicest dudes that I've ever met. So I'm happy for him, and I'm glad that the hematosis that he had a couple fights ago hasn't had a negative impact on his career, because I thought that was going to change his career.
Yeah, Chu, you got any thoughts? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see this fight, unfortunately. I wish I did.
That's a good fight, man. It's on YouTube everywhere.
Yeah,
to find.
There's a few decent links out there. Lim, let's talk about.
You get the stream cam on Saturday evening. It was so good.
You didn't message me, man. I only found out about the streaming like just as the Lebedev fight started, so I missed everything else. But obviously, I've caught up on it over the weekend. But yeah.
Yeah, no. Steve Welling sent it to me just before the Lebedev was starting, just saying because I couldn't find one. He's like, "Here it is, smooth as fuck, man."
All right, cool. Let's move on to Bivol versus Valera.
You mean my boy Bivol, right?
Mine and Leon's boy. We mentioned him first.
Mine. He's mine.
All right, give us your thoughts on the fight, Lim.
I thought Bivol looked really good against a pretty decent guy for a 6th fight. I mean, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say more than anything, because I think I'm just a little bit harsher on fighters than you guys are. So I thought he boxed very well, but like you mentioned, Cam, in our from previous discussions, I do think he is a little bit too content to be the counterpuncher and to kind of wait for his opposition. And I think that could be a little bit troublesome for him moving forward, because I do think Bivol is kind of short for that weight class in terms of his reach and his length. And if he fights a guy like Gavotnich, who is a very lengthy and rangy fighter, I think that could be problematic. So that was the only complaint that I had. I felt like he was a little bit too complacent. at moments in that fight, and I actually wish that his power was a little bit more effective. Just because I've always thought that Bivol had really, really great power, and he's probably still does, but it just didn't show on Saturday night like I hoped it did. But he does have very, very good boxing skills, and that's what I really was impressed by, was just his ability to stay calm at really short range, and just his ability to kind of flip and dodge and weave and parry shots, and his ability to catch and shoot. So I'm really high on him, man. I really think he's going to get a title shot in the next 12 to 18 months. And I'm just happy for our boy, man. And I can't wait to see his pretty face back in the States, because it's been too long since I haven't seen him. Got me really lonely.
Yeah, Lim, I did talk to you yesterday, and I said he did look hesitant to be the first one to throw. He was kind of waiting to counterpunch a bit too much. However, when he was counterpunching, I was impressed, because he wasn't just counterpunching with one shot. He was doing it with combinations, and he threw combinations throughout the fight, and I was just impressed with him only going 8 rounds, I think, once or twice before, for him to go 12, and even like 11th, 12, he was still throwing lots of shots, so his gas tank is very good. His ability to cut off the ring could have been a bit better. It wasn't as bad as Jamal Charlo, but Valera was kind of basically circling clockwise a lot, and I thought he could have just stepped across a bit more just to cut Valera off, make him go the opposite way. But yeah, and some of his hooks are quite wide when he's throwing the combination of hooks. I just like him to shorten them up a bit. But overall, for, like you said, I think his 7th fight against a guy that was undefeated, who's been to Russia before, got a close decision, and he basically dominated him, I thought, and he did it in good fashion. Leon, any thoughts?
Well, I agree with what everyone's saying about him being, relying too much on being a counterpuncher. But he does look so smooth when he does counterpunch. And, if he, as he gets more and more difficult fights, there's a lot of aggressive fighters in that division who will come to him. So it could work for him moving forward in that division. But I thought, I thought his power, he might have a bit more power. But he still, what was he, 25? So he's still got a couple of years to really...
He still dropped Valera twice, though, was it? Twice or once? So yeah. One was a bit of a slip, wasn't it? I can't remember, to be honest.
He's a very smooth puncher, and, I mean, he's very, very good.
Chew, did you see
good
it?
Body work. He was getting some good body shots in.
Yeah. Chew, did you see it?
Nah, I didn't see the fight.
Lim, just quickly before we wrap up, Bivol. It's a bit hard for his team to take him in a direction now, because they've kind of stepped him up very quick. What would you see his next fight being, or who would he be a decent opponent?
That's a great question, Cam. I really have no idea outside of top 10 guys at that weight division. I don't know. Maybe he fights like Chilemba after he gets his ass kicked by Kovalev. I don't know if who's a former gatekeeper at 175 that all of the guys fought. Campillo. Is Campillo still fighting?
No, Mohammadi.
Yeah, Mohammadi. Oh no, but Gavaznich, the other prospect at 175, just fucking iced him in 2. So it's tough, man. I really don't think it really matters at this point. I just think as long as he fights guys with winning. Karpensky or even
Gonzalez.
Guy that just beat
Gonzalez who fought Pascal. Yeah, he'd be good.
Gonzalez Pereira. Hey, fuck it. Maybe Pascal. Maybe have that fight in Russia or even Canada, man. Let Bivol shine and hopefully work out the Bivol versus Better Biev in the future. Have them both on the same card. I don't know. There's a lot of killers at that weight division, and the only thing that I'm afraid of is I hope that they don't get a little bit too nationalistic and not fight each other. I know they're from different regions in Eastern Europe, but still I think there's still a sense of pride and community that they share with each other, because I know that Bivol and Gavaznich are pretty close, and especially Bivol and the other guy that also fights at 175 at the wild card, who was the Olympian that always used to beat Bivol. Obviously, they're very close, so hopefully that doesn't block those fights from taking place in the future.
Marky Mark TMT in the chat said Shawnee. Sorry, Kev, man, close your ears, but cover your ears. I think Bivol beats Shawnee quite easy, to be honest.
Yeah, Bevel's a problem, man. And I think Kev would agree to that as well, because Kev was telling me, how good he thinks Bevel is. And trust me, against a come forward fighter like Shawnee and someone who's pretty short and has short arms like Shawnee, Bevel's just going to eat for breakfast. But I do see him having problems with boxers just because his stance is so wide. And that's the reason why he's so smooth, is because his stance is so wide. But at the same time, when your stance is that wide, it's really hard for you to move fluidly and cut the ring off.
I'm backing Shawnee Monaghan in that fight. Because I fucking walk with my people.
Like Ricky Burns.
Yeah, like you did in one of the first episodes of the Coalition.
That was before. Now I know he is my fucking boy. I'm team. I'm team Monaghan all day, every day.
Hey,
Every
Cam.
damn day.
Cam, you think Tesco Joe lets Jose Burton take a step up?
No.
Yeah.
All right, let's quickly move on. Bob Ajasaf. Sorry, Bob. I watched 5 rounds of that fight, and I thought sleeping would be better use of my time. So, sorry. And Kudryashov, Dos Santos, it's just a bit of a slow beat down, isn't it, Leon?
Yeah. It was just he's an evil man, but he's limited.
That's a good summary of him.
Yeah. Fun fight, so I'm happy letting him fight any of the top guys. It'd be good.
I think Kudryashov versus Bivol. Actually, no, he's there. Cruiserweight, don't it? Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Try and get Bivol killed.
No, I think Bivol beats him. All right, let's move on. I guess go down to New Zealand. Joseph Parker, Carlos Takam. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. He's very open.
Just because
So you're breaking up, Liam?
Go on, Dad.
Okay. No, I'm sorry, Leon, to cut you off, but I gotta go watch my nephew play some baseball. So if I could just say that I thought it was a fun ass fight, man. I thought it was the best fight of the weekend, and I think Parker has incredible chin, so I give him all the props in the world for that. But if he fights Joshua, I think Joshua ices him, unfortunately. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Enjoy watching your nephew play. Is it basketball, did you say?
Baseball.
Oh, baseball, my bad.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Liam.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.
Go on, Leon.
Am I still breaking up?
No, you're not breaking up. It wasn't you, but it was breaking up. It was Liam that was breaking up.
All right. I just thought he's very open. Don't you think?
For me, I take away a lot of things from that fight. First of all, it was a very good learning fight, similar to what Joshua versus White, because he went through some adversity. He went a lot of rounds. Obviously, Parker went a lot more rounds than Joshua did, but that's going to give him a lot of confidence now, going 12 rounds. And
gas tank.
His gas tank was poor though. Like towards the end of the fight, he looked pretty gone. Having said that, he was still throwing combinations still near the end, but they didn't have any of the power they had initially at the start of the fight. So props to him for that. The openness though, Leon, like after he throws his combinations, and you can tell this is just bad habits from throwing on a bag, from doing bag work, because I see it in the gym all the time. People throw shots, they're still standing in the bag, and the hands come down to the shoulders or lower. And he's the same. He'll throw his combinations, and his hands are just up to his shoulders. He's just completely open to a headshot. And at that division, you can't really do that, man. Like, because if you don't take the guy out first, he's going to take you out, especially if you've got such a limited defense. And when he was getting tired and he was trying to slip shots, man. He's slipping shots is not his A game. He cannot do that. Like Takam was catching him like with clean hooks. If Takam had more power and he was a bit bigger, man, he would have probably stopped Parker.
I don't know. I think his chin looked good.
I don't know. Like he was taking some shots, but like it's Takam though. Like I'm not being funny. Like Takam's not got power like Joshua's got power.
That's true, but at least we know about him that his chin's good. I mean, this is a very, very good step-up fight, isn't it?
Oh, it was a very good step up. And
and then he's going to have to fight Pulev to get to Joshua, and Joshua just fights a bum and gets a belt. I know how I'd rather be, experience-wise going into that fight.
Well, Leon, I wanted to double-check that with you guys, because throughout the broadcast they were saying, this is a final eliminator. And then in the studio with Ed Robinson and White and McClory, they were saying, it's just eliminator. So do you know what it actually is? Was it a final eliminator against Takam?
I believe it to be that he has to fight Pulev. That's how I understand it. But, there's mixed messages out there. So, our chat probably knows more than us. I think
Pulev beats him, man.
I'm telling you, that's what I mean. That's some bullshit, isn't it? Joshua's got to this belt by fighting no one. And to get to him, you've got to go through, not a murderer's row, but you've got to go through some tough guys. He doesn't. I think HayeDay knocks him out anyway if it comes down to it. But you've still got a chance.
No, that's what I was saying. A few people asked me my opinion on that fight. I said whoever lands a big shot first wins that fight. Because, I don't know, Josh looked a bit uneasy getting hit by White, and I think Parker's a bigger puncher than White. So if Parker lands on Josh first, might have some issues. So I kind of see that as a 50-50, to be honest. But I liked in the Sky Sports studio we had, like I said, we had Ed Robinson and Dillian White, and Ed Robinson took a little sneaky shot at Dillian White.
But in fairness, a lot of people will say Carlos Takam is better than anyone Anthony Joshua has beaten in his career at this point. Yeah. So it is a good win, and was it all about the win this evening?
Yeah, it was all about the win, but I don't think Carlos Takam is better than me. At one stage he probably was, but I don't think he's better than me right now.
Props to Ed, man, props to Ed to trying to wind up Dillian White.
Well, still, that rematch has got to be built, hasn't it?
Oh, that rematch is happening because look how successful the first fight was. So
definitely, but I just think Parker. I've always liked him because he's knocking guys out and stuff. But he's limited, isn't he?
His inside game was terrible. All he would do on the inside is if he's still in the pocket, he wouldn't put his hands up, and then he'd be leaning forward, like leaning in, and he was so open to the uppercut.
And going backwards, he's going to be useless.
Yeah, like he was getting pushed back by a small heavyweight towards the end of that fight. Like if Takam had a bit more about him towards the end of that, he could have probably won the fight or took him out.
Yeah, he wasn't landing many clean shots on moving backwards, was he?
Round 8 was a fun round, though.
Yeah, good fight. It was a really good fight.
Chu, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is my favourite fight of the weekend. Sponsored by Burger King, the fight was. And
everyone got free whoppers.
Yeah, Parker didn't have it his way. And I thought Takam won. I definitely thought Takam won the fight. I thought the Sky Sports commentators were really ignoring the work that Takam was doing and really kind of overemphasising the work that Parker was doing. There was a reason why they do that. The Parker-Joshua fight would be a lot more sexier than a Carlos Takam-Joshua fight. Round 1, I thought Takam won that. Landed a few early shots. Parker took a while to get going. Very predictable jab Parker's got. I think...
nice double jab, though.
Nice double jab, but it wasn't landing on Takam.
Yeah.
I gave 2, 3, 4 to Parker. But again, he throws nice combos, but I thought Takam was blocking most of it.
Yeah.
And round 5, that's when the kind of tide turned. I thought it was a big Takam round. Takam took it to him, and Parker went backwards like a David T. Conroe. He just had no answer going backwards, like Leon was saying. And I thought, really, Takam won round 6. So I had it 3 rounds each at halfway through. Parker round 7, like you said. Round 8 was nice. A kind of good competitive scrap. One thing I will say about Parker is, he lands a sneaky left to the body. But he's got a questionable gas tank, his stamina. It's a bit like the Super Mario Brothers when you get the star. you're invincible for 30 seconds and then you run into something thinking you're invincible. That's what Parker does. He throws these fucking mad 30-second flurries and then he's fucked at the end of it. And I was impressed by the way that Takam was taking advantage. He was just kind of closing his guard, making it tight. Parker was flailing away and not really landing anything. And just that kind of shit tactics. You can tell he's really been given a lot of bums to feast on. First competitive fight he's in, and he's kind of flailing. He's fucking breathing out his mouth from the 5th round onwards like he's Monica Lewinsky. And I'm really actually, because I was high on Parker before, but after watching that fight, I'm kind of like questioning everything. Like, fucking Sky Sports can try to disguise everything about him, but there's no real hiding the fact that he's overrated. And I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out in like 4 or 5 rounds.
But isn't Josh overrated, don't you?
Who's overrated?
Isn't Joshua overrated?
Nah, to me, like, it's really questionable who's better, Takam or Dillian White, but, Joshua took care of his step-ups. This is really the first time that Parker's stepped up, unless you're counting fucking Bofa.
No, their resumes are very similar to this point.
I disagree. I mean...
come on. He's beaten Sprott and fucking washed up. AJ's resume is trash, man.
I mean, yeah, he shouldn't really have that belt at this point in his career. He's still learning, but I definitely think that Joshua is the better fighter of the two. And I definitely think Parker's overrated on the basis of that. Maybe he's had an off night. Who knows? But I mean, I know how I scored the fight. I had it 115, 113 to Takam. I thought he was very unlucky to not win that. And I really don't know how anyone can say that Parker won that, to be honest. I thought he was fucking hanging on. And then,
I thought he won it clearly.
Nah, I mean...
What about you, Cam?
I thought he just nicked it. I had it 115, 113 to Parker.
Yeah. You had it maybe an extra round up to Parker.
I just think that when Takam did have success, it wasn't enough. So I think, especially in the earlier rounds, kind of Parker managed to build up a bit of a lead, which I think he won the 11th and 12th as well, which kind of nicked it for him, I think. Takam had a good mid part of the fight, but he didn't do enough towards the end.
Takam gives everyone a tough fight, man. No one's ever looked good against him.
I think Takam is the kind of guy that Joshua needs to fight to get round,
100%.
At the end of the fight, they played Can't Be Touched by Roy Jones over the Tannoy system.
I noticed that.
I think they were all cringing when they were hearing that.
That's quite funny, that.
I mean, I hope they fight next.
But just even the arena, like, for New Zealand boxing, yeah, it was quite busy in that. But that's nothing like compared to what Joshua does. Like, Joshua would fill up a stadium right now. I don't think Parker would do that. Unless Burger King are giving away free meals.
Yeah, then I'll be there. I mean, he's popular over there, but there's levels to it.
There's levels to that shit, too.
There is levels. And he needs to... I know he's relocated to Nevada, Parker has, and I definitely think he's not the finished article. He needs more fights before he steps up to Josh. I mean, you guys are both saying that Joshua knocks him out, so I really don't see what the rush is with him. He's 24, something like that, so just give him a couple of years and he might have a better chance.
Alright, let's move on. Talk about Predictions League quickly.
I'm not going to talk about the French fight.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we need to talk about Kalinga.
We don't have to talk about it long. I think just everyone should go and watch it.
Well, you and I, Leon, had a bit of a disagreement on this because on
fight?
This fight was on Saturday or Friday. It was on Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So on Friday night, I'm looking at my Twitter feed, and people are saying, "Oh, potential fight of the year, Kalenga," and it was a fight that I did put in the predictions league, and Leon's telling me like, "Oh, you gotta watch this fight." A few other people are telling me, so I'm like really hyped for it, thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be a classic, man! I can't wait." Seeing like a clip of the knockdown, and I was like, right, if the whole fight's like this, then it's going to be a great fight. Saw on boxing scene that, potential fight of the year, so watch it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being salty, it was an enjoyable fight, but it wasn't a type of fight of the year fight for me, and I'll tell you why after you give me your opinion, Leon.
I just thought, I can't, it's one of those fights where you get so caught up in it that you don't even kind of remember it. It was just felt like nearly every round was a war, and some of those uppercuts that our friend Doritos or whatever his name is was landing was just a thing of beauty. And then Kalenga came back into it and was really, really started to pull the rounds back, and you thought he was going to win it, and then suddenly he gassed and he started getting hit a lot, and the finish was pretty brutal.
For me, I just saw a lot of missed punches. Like Kalenga was leaping in with a left hook and missing so much. All Doritos, or how you pronounce his name, sorry, was
Doritos. I'm calling him.
We just call him Doritos. That's disrespectful, though. But yeah, go on.
I like him.
All he was doing is just a little half step back, and he was just making Kalenga miss so bad. And I think that a lot of the punches that did land, they kind of grazed and they half hit, and a lot of them were blocked in elbows and gloves. And I just think it looked a better fight than it actually was, because I don't think that many shots landed clean, throughout the fight. Obviously, the uppercuts were nice, and I know Chu likes a good old uppercut, but apart from them ones in there, was it the second round when he got dropped? Like the mid part of the fight, a lot of punches were getting blocked and missed, and I just didn't. I just didn't. Maybe because a lot of people boasted about it so much that I was expecting more, so I was a bit disappointed. Maybe if people didn't say it was a great fight, maybe I would have maybe enjoyed it more. But
maybe we was just watching it live.
Possibly.
I don't know. Yeah.
I said to you on the weekend, I thought the Conor fight was better, but maybe that's just me.
Oh, that was a good fight, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is, two kind of just below top 10 guys going at it again, proving how strong that division is.
Local Mexican said, "Lol, fight of the year, my ass, 2 Eurobums going at it in France." All right, should we move on?
He's the bum.
No, don't say that about my homeboy Loco. He said that if Vargas fights... He said
he's xenophobic.
He said if Vargas fights Kell Brook in Sheffield, he's coming to Sheffield, so...
Watch his boy get knocked out.
All right, let's talk about Prediction League. El Terrible has jumped into first position. James McMahon's in second. Hand of Stone in third. The champ, Cesar, has gone up into fourth, joint with Sully Boxing. Marky Mark, sixth, is in fifth. Sixth is Claude Bottom. Monocle 78 is in seventh. Go on, Leon. What's going on?
I'm winning. The wife back to making the picks.
Nice. Inverness Mark in eighth. Johnny B ninth. Mo in 10th. Living up to his name. All right. Give a shout to the people in the chat. Tony Yayo, Nothing for Something, Chris DLFC, Mr. Dermo, Joey D14, Davy Boy Essex, props at Davy Boy, always putting up the fights on YouTube, Barceleos, Marky Mark TMT, Pinhead 360, Foot, my boy TBE Chef, J Sweet the A-Side, Kevlar, Jas, my boy Dean Scorsese, Jason 268, Johnny B86, The Boxing Rhino, Tico, Nunez 83, Nesmatic, Raphael 22, PM versus Bill Bones 101, Court Music, Local Mexican, Wasif 1 and 9 guests. Before we preview next week, Chu and Leon, any news you want to discuss that you read this week?
Nothing particular, no.
No.
I just want to say, we shitted on the David Haye card, but there was one positive that came from that. I think a portion of ticket sales has gone towards Nick Blackwell. I think about £50,000, which is excellent money.
That's good.
As much as I hated that fucking card and all that WWE dramatics, man, the fact that Nick Blackwell's getting some money to, help provide for his family is excellent. So, props to David Haye for at least one little thing.
That's good, but I think that's like the card was so shit that you kind of really need to do something to get the fans back on side. I'm not saying he's doing it for the fans. He is doing it for Nick Blackwell, no doubt about it. But I don't think it's coincidental.
You can't trust him, can you?
Yeah.
Not to be cynical.
Exactly, you can't trust him. You don't know with David Haye. I think he's just a fucking pirate. He's just plundering the boxing fan.
He is, man. He's mugging us all.
Yeah, there was once upon a time where I actually enjoyed his fights. I do think aesthetically he's a good fighter, but I just think, what's his biggest win? You know what I mean? Enzo Martinelli. The guy is like wasted potential, in my opinion, and he's not doing it for anything other than a paycheck. Payday, they should call him.
Yeah. All right, let's preview next week. Not much. It's a bit of a Euro bum weekend, to be honest. Sorry, Chew, to use the word bum. I didn't mean that. But Ricky Burns is back, Chew, fighting for a world title at 140. Your boy.
My boy. This is it. Moment of truth. I'm nervous. Beads down my forehead. Rocco, I've no idea who he is. But then Eddie Hearn likes to feed Ricky with these fucking beasts. These animals. Zlatan Cannon was no pushover, although at the time we all thought he was. I definitely think Ricky is past his best, especially when I watch Eiffel London coverage of Ricky not sparring, but he's hitting a heavy bag and shit, and he's doing mitt work, and it doesn't look the same to me. The quickness is gone. The kind of timing's a bit off. He's not all there. I thought he looked better when he moved up in weight, and now he's back down to the weight class where I think he's fucking struggled, to be honest. And really, if he's going to become a world champion, it's going to be against a guy like Rocco, who I've not seen any of his fights, but I always go by the old saying, if I've not heard of you or I've not seen you, then you must be shit. I've been wrong a couple of times, but
Chewy's not gone back down. This is at 140.
Is it at 140, mate? Oh, fuck's sake, that's how much I've been paying attention to his career.
This is your boy as well.
I know, mate. To be honest with you, I've kind of lost touch with Ricky.
Ricky doesn't return your phone calls. He doesn't email you anymore. Doesn't message you anymore.
He never did, unfortunately. But the guy is, I'm not going to say shot, but he's not the same fighter, and I hope he wins. But if he does, it's kind of like the Anthony Joshua situation. It's Eddie Hearn's made a backroom phone call, got his boy a trinket, and it wouldn't feel the same. I always think when you fight for a world title, you should actually earn it, and he's not earned it. He's definitely not earned it, and regardless of whether he's like a local fighter, for me, the same rules must apply. You've got to earn it, and if you win it, you've got to defend it. And I've got a funny feeling if Ricky Burns wins this, he's going to milk it. Dare I say it, like he's milked the other two.
Nice to hear you speak your mind, and to me it's the truth, Chew. I agree with everything you said, and I don't really think it's Ricky's fault. I just think it's Eddie Hearn, and whenever Eddie Hearn gets a guy that's got good backing and can sell arenas and sell tickets, then those guys always seem to get easy shots at titles, and I don't think he deserves a shot at that world title, but what does that really mean anymore? And especially with the WBA, it doesn't really mean shit. Rocco, whatever his name is, I've never seen him either. I think Ricky should be able to beat him though, but like you said, Chew, I think after that he'll have some defences, sell some tickets, and then when someone decent becomes mandatory, he'll probably lose.
in a sense, if anyone deserves, I know this isn't fair. I know I should be having a higher standard, but he's had a lot of financial troubles. He's a fucking really nice guy. If anyone deserves an easy one, it is Ricky Burns. But ultimately, I think the fans aren't stupid. They're not going to. I don't think it'll be a sellout by any means. I don't think, it won't be a fucking trending topic on Twitter, that's for sure. I do think this one's kind of sneaked under the radar. No one really gives a fuck, even if it is for a world title. And like Daniel Lim was saying a couple of weeks ago, like Ricky Burns is going to be a 3-time world champion. I can't really justify it. And I won't. Banner aside.
Leon, your thoughts?
This guy's fought no one. He's fighting. It's the Rocker. How has he got himself in this position?
How did Ricky get himself in this position?
I know. Is this Broner's old belt?
Yeah. But there was confusion because first they were fighting for the regular, then Broner didn't make weight and lost the super, so I don't know whether it's the super or if it's the regular, but who gives a fuck?
It's a super.
I don't know. It's bullshit.
These two aren't the super of anything, I'm sorry. Without being bad. I like Ricky Burns, but how is this for a world title? Eddie Hearn is very good at his job. You've got to give him that.
Yep.
I mean, this is supposedly a legit belt.
Nah, it's not legit, man.
But it is, isn't it? It's meant to be their legit one.
It used to be, not anymore.
Yeah.
It's been tainted by the other shit belts.
This is an Anthony Joshua undercard fight, wrapped in a pretty pink bow with a super trinket belt on it.
Do you think it'll sell well? Do you know if it's sold out or?
I've no idea. I could probably get a ticket tomorrow, but I won't.
Bet it sells out though.
This ain't selling well. Have you seen the state of the undercard?
What you mean? Like people don't want to see Tyrone Nurse fight Willie Lemon? Come on, bro.
Honestly, there's a few people I know on Twitter. Some of our Scottish friends, and they've got tickets, but they're raging. They're not going. They might try and send their tickets back.
Yeah, but I think a lot of these guys that are going to go are going to be just casual Ricky fans that just want to go.
Not the guys that
on a night out.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Sorry.
I've heard a bit of an echo. It's like Conor Benn in a 4-rounder, Scott Cardell in a 6-rounder, Anthony Ogogo in a 6-rounder. I mean, what is this shit?
What I don't understand is Ogogo's in a 6. That's what I'm saying. Ogogo's in a 6-rounder against TBA. Ryder's in a 6 round. Why are they not fighting each other?
Exactly.
Fucking horrible, man.
Why isn't Ryder fighting fucking Eubank?
Do you think Conor Benn will be like the co-main again? Come out and start kissing his dad?
It's sickening. I mean, it's just horrible to watch them build him up from so early. This is his second fight. It's a joke. I mean, talk about milking money from the boxing fans again. They're using a great fighter's name, and the great fighter's letting his name being abused like this by Sky Sports. I mean, this kid could turn out to be rubbish and be knocked out in five fights. It'd be embarrassing.
That's true. All right, this is enough of this shitty card. Let's move on to another shitty card, apart from the headline. Bellew versus Makabu. My boy Hamada was in the chat earlier, and he said that Bellew might win it. He was looking at Makabu on the pads, and he looked pretty bad. I don't really try and take too much into pads sometimes, unless they're like very horrible. I've not seen him, so maybe I'll try and catch his pad work on YouTube, but I just hope Makabu...
Who would ever take anything from pad work?
I know we should rep the flag and that. I just don't like Bellew though, so I hope Makabu wins, man.
Yeah, I think pad work gives you an indication of just how the snap and the punches, the timing, all that kind of shit. I can remember watching Kell Brook on the the pads once, and I thought, man, this guy's a fucking beast. And so it proved. This was before, he fought Sean Porter and stuff. It doesn't tell you everything, it doesn't tell you anything about the chin and stuff like that, but it just tells you how they are in terms of how sharp they are and all that kind of shit. I don't put too much on it, but it does give you a fucking indication, Fans don't get to see sparring much nowadays, so every kind of little intricacy in terms of how they're looking leading up to a fight, I think, is good for a fan who wants to put a bet on and stuff like that.
Also, next time I want to do research on a fighter, I won't watch his fights. I'll just go back and have a look at his pad work, shall I?
Yeah, but the fight the fight obviously is more important. But I mean, if you, in the modern day fighter,
with you, man.
I know you are, but I'm going to fucking argue back anyway. Like a lot of these fighters fight twice a year. The last time they fought could have been 8 months ago, and if I want to see an indication of how they're doing leading up to a fight, I might go watch any kind of footage of them that I can.
True. Yeah. I
thought that was a fucking good explanation, man.
It's a reasonable explanation. It holds no water, but it's a reasonable explanation. But I think he's going to... Well, I hope and pray that he fucking absolutely obliterates Bellew, but that's just me. I see the Twitter world and the other people, boxing fans, have gone soft on him. They all like... He suddenly won people over. I don't know what's going on. Have you seen that horrible promo about the Rocky story? Oh, it's sickening.
I've got Bellew winning this.
Oh, you get smashed to bits, man.
Leon, do you think this is going to sell well or has sold well?
Tickets?
Yeah, ticket sales.
Let's have a look at this fucking horrible undercard. But, I mean, I guess it just really doesn't matter. He's been in the Rocky film. People have seen it on the screen. Who's got the noise?
Oh, me.
They've seen it on the. They've seen it on there. They've gone to see the film. I haven't seen the film, but I've been told he fights at Goodison in the film, right? So it's just get to see it for the real thing. It's an easy sell, man. They should, but I mean, they're not spending any money on the undercard, are they?
Yeah, they are. They've brought over. And paying them, Eddie Hearn is paying the mortgage of Daniel Brizuela. The guy that fought Tommy Coyle in that great fight. And then fought Luke Campbell. He's getting another paycheck and he's coming over fighting
He's got
Steve.
Pictures, man. He's got pictures of Eddie like hoovering a load of stuff up in Argentina or something.
Or like in stockings like Oscar De La Hoya or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting Stephen Smith at 130. That's like co-main, I think. Kind of 12-rounder. But why does Callum Smith need to be why does Callum Smith need to be in a 6-rounder?
8-rounder.
Or 8-rounder? What?
No one knows.
I don't know. I'm just glad that's not pay-per-view, because if Sky already didn't have a few pay-per-views this year, that would have been pay-per-view.
It's scary. Paul Smith is going to fight maybe 5-6 rounders and somehow end up in a world title fight.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, no. It's a joke, man. Like, it's so hard to like watch some of these cards and kind of listen to all the bullshit that's get fed to you from Sky and from Eddie Hearn.
Do you see that promo?
I've not seen it, to be honest.
No, I mean, look, Bellew's taking the top, so props to him for taking that fight. I want him to lose. That's my issue. I mean, I wish he was really a Liverpool fan, not an Everton fan, but yeah, it's just a terrible card. They're just using names in meaningless fights to try and sell to the local market. That's what they're doing. They're just going, all the Smith brothers are on. That will attract a few people. They're in fights that mean nothing to anyone. They're pointless. Pointless fights. What Callum Smith, at his point in his career, fighting 8-rounders, it's a fucking joke.
David Price, an 8-rounder. Sean Dodd. I like Sean Dodd. I like Masha. But why is he fighting Pascual de Silva for a vacant WBC international lightweight title on this type of card? It's not necessary.
I mean, he should only be in domestic fights, and that we could be into and get into domestic fights. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't care about this international belt against someone we've never heard of. I'd rather he just fought another domestic lightweight. There's shitloads of them out there.
I can't believe, like you said, though, Paul Smith's in a 6-rounder, man. Come on.
Look, he could have fought Tommy Coyle. He could. There's loads of them he could have fought. Gary, I would even rather have seen him fight Gary Sykes. Did he fight Gary Sykes already?
Who?
I'm saying the the Masha Dodd fight. Why is he fighting an international fighter? He should be fighting a domestic fighter for a domestic belt, not an international fighter for a nothing trinket to force himself up the mandatories, up the rankings, so he might get a mandatory at some kind of dodgy world belt.
It's because Cardo was ducking him. Cardo'd rather fight in a 8-rounder or a 6-rounder in Scotland. Yeah, he's in it. Cardo's in a 6-rounder in Scotland against TBA.
It's a joke. Why can't they just do that, man? Do that fight again. They were good fights. Fuck it, I don't know.
The reason being is that Eddie Hearn, he wants to keep all his fighters happy. He's a bit like a football manager who's got like a big squad, and he wants to keep them all happy by giving them like a win. But you can't keep, when you've got a stable that big, you can't keep everyone happy. And it's fucking astonishing how he doesn't match some of his fighters together more often.
Yep.
The reason being is he wants to keep them winning. He doesn't want them to lose, because if they lose, the value goes down. But really, that's the whole point of boxing. You can't have all these fucking fighters. If you're not going to fight Frank Warren fighters, the very fucking least is you need to fight your own fighters. That's the whole point of it.
Well fucking said, Chew. Well said.
But he could be fighting. There's a guy called Craig Evans who had 2 draws with Tommy Stalker and then got beaten by Scotty Cardell. Why can't he fight him in a domestic fight, and then he can go back to Cardell and say, "Look, I beat the guy who you just beat." I'd rather than him fight someone like that than someone we've never heard of.
I really don't know who's to blame. Al Heyman gets a lot of shit for not matching up his fighters, but I think he's doing it nowadays a lot more than Eddie Hearn is. And Matt Erosian said on Twitter that blame the boxers, don't blame the promoters. I'm sure that Eddie Hearn has probably tried to get a couple more competitive fights on the cards, but I'm sure the fucking fighters shut them down. Like you said earlier, Leon, why can't Anthony Ogogo fight the other middleweight who's fighting on that card? I can't remember who he said.
Ryder.
Okay, so save 2 wages. Save a fucking Argentinian bum or a fucking Eastern European bum flight fare. Because I'm sure they're getting paid the same, or roughly. So just save 2 wages, save 2 pays, put those 2 guys together, like you said. It really baffles the mind. Anthony Ogogo, fuck me, he's been a professional for 5 years or something? Coming up 5 years? 2012 Olympics. Alright, 4 years. Still, who's he fought? No one. I know he's been injured. That means it's time to get a move on. Andrade was out the game for a good 2 years because of contractual issues. Straight away, he's at it. He's looking to fight a contender and shit. Anthony Ogogo, he's on fucking Subway. He's on Subway billboards and fucking Strictly Come Dancing still. That's a different mentality, have you got the hunger or have you not? It's time to fucking step up, man. All these matchroom fighters.
Don't be dissing Subway, Chew.
I know you love your tuna sandwiches.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I actually got a feeling, Leon, that this Scottish card is going to be one of the worst matchroom cards in history.
Yeah, I think they both could be. I mean, it's been a parade of shit. Yeah.
And the worst thing is, we got in the UK, it's a bank holiday this weekend, so we got the Scottish card on the Saturday, and the Liverpool card on the Sunday. So we just got a shit fest for 2 days straight.
Are they mental though? Why is Ricky Burns not chief support at the stadium fight?
Stupid.
It's ridiculous. The Scots would travel down for that. A week, like you said, bank holiday, big stadium fight. You had 2 world titles, and then you could have the Mash Dodd and what's the other one on
Nurse Lemon.
Nurse Lemon. If you gave me that on a Sunday evening, that's a Sky card. Fine. 2 domestic fights, 2 world title fights, or world title-ish fights. I'm not paying for it on the Sky. I'll take that.
The worst thing is, there's no decent American card this weekend to kind of balance it out. Like, the only fight, a big American name fighting is Sugar Shane, and we all know that he's one punch away from brain damage.
But, good. I hope this exposes Eddie Hearn to the other boxing fans around the world so they can see the kind of shit he puts on rather than fucking praising him for building a good atmosphere. You're exposed, Eddie. There's no American fight to hide behind.
Probably the reason why Ricky Burns is fighting in Scotland is because, for whatever reason, Eddie Hearn wants to use Ricky Burns to give all his other Scottish fighters, and he's got actually a couple, a payday. So really, a lot of these Scottish fighters, they can't come down to Liverpool because Eddie Hearn's going to supplement that card with all the other Liverpudlian or from that area fighters, and all their family and all their friends can buy tickets. These guys on the undercard, they're ticket sales really. They're just they fill out the crowd, all that kind of stuff. And in fairness, in a Ricky Burns fight, I like Ricky, fucking great guy, decent resume, underrated, and I'm not trolling when I say that, but he needs those Scottish fighters on the undercard to fill out the stadium. Your Steve Simmons and all that shit. Your David Brophy's, although I don't know if he's fighting on this undercard. He needs all these other kind of Scottish fighters to fill out the arena.
There's none of them on there, mate.
Well, I'm sure they've got
Willie Lemon.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what the whole point is. I'm sure on the deeper undercard there's some Scottish fighters.
No, not one.
Not one.
John Ryder, John Hamm, Ben Connor, Charlie Flynn, is Scotty Cardell Scottish?
His parents are Scottish.
Yeah.
But he's seen as a kind of Northwest fighter. Anthony Gogo, Norwich is quite close to Scotland. Who's this Stuart Burt? He might be Scottish. Okay, there's a boxer I've never heard of who's Scottish. But also a big fight, it's not like he's doing Scotland a big favour up there, honestly, mate.
All right, okay, in that case then. In the past it's been the case, but in this case, you're right. Fuck that card, scrap it. It's going to be half empty. It's going to be half empty, I know it will be.
Just put them together.
Yeah, that's what a wise business decision would do. You're going to lose money on this card, I bet.
I'm depressed for this weekend.
I bet he loses money on this card. I don't know. I don't see the point. I know you're trying to get Ricky into a 3-time world champion, but I don't see how you make money in that card.
I think he's kind of knows that he's going to lose on this one to
get that belt.
Yeah, to get the belt, and he'll make the money back. There's a financial term for it, but is it speculate to accumulate?
Yeah, and he'll just he can boost up any pay-per-view fight, can't he? Then the more kind of world belts he's got, the more undercard fighters he's got for AJ. About being horrible, that's the truth of the matter, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's only going to feed Ricky to Crawler.
Crawler would have to move up.
I can see Ricky coming back down for a big money fight.
He's not at that weight, Chew.
I could see Leon though. I could see him coming back down for a big money fight or a catch weight.
Get Ricky to fuck. Honestly, Ricky's my boy, but retire. I don't care about him anymore. I've lost touch with him. Gate.
But how many people are we expecting at this fight, Cam? Is
5.
It like 30,000, 20,000 it holds or something?
What, Bellews?
Yeah, Bellews, sorry.
I saw someone in the chat saying they've done 18,000 tickets. I don't know how true that is, but I could see 20. I think obviously they're going to try and focus on the football fans, aren't they? Football season's over in the UK now, so
yeah.
Bellews is associated with the team Everton. I could see a lot of Everton fans coming out. Not even boxing fans, just guys that want to go on a night out, get pissed and watch some boxing.
God, imagine the season they've had. manager sacked, boxer clean iced in his own stadium. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Chris DLFC saying about 18,000, so I could see it being up to 20 on the weekend, 22 maybe.
I think, look, respect to Bellew, because he's taken a tough fight to get a belt. So, I mean, as long as he does better than he did when he went over and shat himself against Adonis Stevenson in one of the worst British performances in a long time, that's often forgotten about how poorly he performed in that fight. No one, Sky don't replay that shit, do they?
He was more competitive in the weigh-in.
Oh, embarrassing. The whole thing was that's. Well, he's not on my Christmas card list. Let's put it that way. So I'm fully team. Where's this dude from? What flag am I repping this weekend, Cam?
I don't know actually. Let me quickly check.
Man, we should have our fucking facts on deck before the show, man. I'm fucking up everywhere, left, right, centre. You know why it is? It's because none of these fights are sexy. I don't give a fuck if he's fighting in Goodison.
I'm repping the Congo flag hard.
Yeah, he's birthplace Congo, but residence in South Africa, so Congolese.
Yeah, I'm Congolese that the weekend.
We knew that. I just forgot. Fucking... But I don't give a fuck if he's fighting in Goodison or in Wembley or whatever. He's getting annihilated. I know I said he would win earlier, but I was strong he's going to get knocked out in 4. And I like Bellew. I just think that for whatever reason he's kind of lost that nastiness that he used to have. The you fucking rat kind of carry on. I think he's became domesticated. He's like a cat. He wants a Sky Sports gig in the studio. And he's got one foot at the door. I think if he loses this fight, he's going to retire. I hope he wins. I want the British fighters to win. I want them to be successful, but ultimately, I just think he's kind of lost the eye of the tiger. Maybe he'll get it back because he's fighting in that Everton Stadium. Who knows? But I just think he's on the way out. He's kind of had his chance to be successful, but he's not that young and he's not that fit physically. For whatever age he is, he's an old 32 or whatever.
But the thing is, if he gets a world belt, he's not going to do anything with it. He's not going to go and challenge himself. He'll just milk it for a bit and then retire. So that's my point. It's like, if our other guy wins, Makubu wins, he'll go for a unification fight. He'll go to fight Lebedev in Russia. Bellew won't. So him getting on hold of a belt, it just churns up the division.
Let's be honest. That's fucking 99% of the British fighters. It's absolutely fucking terrible. Every single British fighter has really got a microscope on them because they are fucking milking belts left, right and centre. Yeah, they are. I mean, let's see. You can only, fingers crossed that they make big fights. But, I mean, look at what Liam Smith's been doing. Look at the balls up that Flanagan and Crolla fight not being made. Even when there's good fights to be made, where there's money to be made, they're still not signing these fights. These people are retarded with their belts over here. Let's go through it. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so many to go through. I mean, you've got at least a dozen. For however many British world champions there is, they're all pretty much having soft touches.
Well, let's go through him. I mean, De Gale's been taking tough fights, to be fair to him. This is going to show my lack of knowledge. I can't name the fighters. Liam Smith, his reign of terror looks pretty horrible. I mean, has Lee Selby fought anyone decent?
Nah, not really.
Got the belt? No?
Nah.
Frampton dropped a belt to get away from Rigo. That's embarrassing.
Flanagan could have had a better fighter than fucking Derry Matthews.
Yeah. Crawler's...
Yeah,
I'll give Crawler that he fought supposed dangerous fighter. Who else have we got? Jamie McDonald's the only guy. He's the guy that we should get behind.
I don't know, man. I fucking whoever Jamie McDonald fought in, was that the same one? Was that the same brother? He fought in the fucking Carl Frampton undercard.
No, that was Gavin. That was Gavin.
Yeah.
I always get fucking brothers, man. Fuck off.
Lee Haskins. What do you think of Lee Haskins?
Well, Morales was trash, but let's see what he does next. mean, a lot of our guys haven't had their belts long.
Yep.
Actually, what am I giving James DeGale a pass for? That Porky Medina fight was rubbish and he could have lost it. I mean, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
Even Booty. I mean, come on.
Brooke at 147.
Even Cobra.
Brooke's done nothing at 147.
Apart from eat donuts. It's not good, is it?
Billy Joe's won the title. Gonna fight Ballsack. Got injured or
Billy Joe's the worst.
I'm not talking about Billy Joe.
Why not?
Because he's just special needs. He's mental. There's something wrong with that boy. But terrible reign. Jamie McDonald's our best world champion, easily.
No, he is like I rate Jamie McDonald. I think he's excellent. If he had more power, man, he'd be
the best
beast.
fighter in our country. Then we've got to say it.
Yeah, he is. I agree.
I actually think Kell Brook's the best fighter in the UK, pound for pound. That said, he doesn't fight the best, and I really don't know which British fighter fights the best or tries to every time out.
McDonald called out Rigo. The name came out of his mouth. I've never seen a British fighter do that before. He said he'd fight Rigo and go up there and fight him, and thinks he could beat him. And you know what? He's got as good a chance as anyone else. I hope he takes that fight and proves it and makes Frampton and Quigg look like a pair of fucking bums.
Man, that's like Tomazepam in your left hand and Valium in your right hand. That would be the fucking worst fight of all time, honestly.
You got to stop. He's still the man, and our boys ran from him. Quigg never took that fight. Frampton dropped his belt. So if Jamie McDonald comes up and fights Rigo, he's definitely the man.
That's a tough fight for Rigo, you know.
I'm telling you,
that jab, like he could keep Rigo at distance all night.
Keep me at distance as well.
No one's saying. I ain't saying that we're saying McDonald's as good as Rigo. All I'm saying is stylistically, that's as tough a fight as any of the other guys that have ducked him, and they have ducked him.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of the Who Needs Him club. You know, who wants to watch him club as well. I don't want to particularly watch him, but I need to respect him because ultimately he's one of these go-getters. Yeah, he deserves respect because, you know, for whatever reason we don't like to watch him, but, you know, he's a guy who wants to get into the mix at least, and surely you've got to appreciate that. If only...
And he took on Daenerys, who's one of supposedly pound for pound, you know, the girls list thing, fighters, and he took him on and beat him. So, and then everyone went, nope, don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, these guys, the Cuban guys, you could say what you want about their style. They always want to fight the best, you know, like Lara. Lara always wants to fight the best.
Bollocks. Lara's a fraud.
If you look at Lara's resume, I mean, he's fought pretty much everyone he could.
Apart from he won't fight the two guys who hold a belt each in his division. He won't fight them because they're their friends and they box in the same gym.
I always think Lara's half fought everyone. Like he's only done half a job against everyone.
It's bullshit, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. Okay. We sound like three depressed cunts, man. So let's wrap it up. You guys got any final thoughts?
Canelo, Liam Smith. I've heard that fight is in the works. I don't know if it's a rumour or whatnot, but if that fight is true, then my God, the carnage.
I could see it happening because I remember Warren saying after the Canelo fight got made that they were close with Golden Boy to seal the Liam Smith Canelo fight. So carnage for everyone.
Can I have my quick say on the Canelo Triple G thing?
No.
So I listened to our little impromptu show.
I was going to ring you, but I knew that like your wife would be upset if I woke you up in the middle of the night to do a podcast.
You'd all be in trouble. But I love this idea where people saying I've seen it online, it doesn't matter about the belt. I don't care about the belt. I care about the belt. And he cared about the fucking belt in every fucking press picture before that fucking Amir Khan fucking fight, didn't he? The cunt couldn't get off his shoulder. He might as well have been fucking nailed to his shoulder. And now he doesn't want the belt. Oh, I'm bigger than the belt. It's fucking bullshit, man. It's just double standards. A duck is a duck. And by all accounts, the negotiations have fallen apart. So now it's a duck. If the negotiations have fallen apart, it's a duck.
Well said, Lee. Well said.
Yeah.
Your boy is a fucking fraud. He'll be found out to be a fraud. And I'll be fucking there to tell you, I fucking said this. He will fuck around at this stupid weight the next 2 or 3 years, draining people, dragging people up, fucking around. Fucking fraud.
I wouldn't go that far. He's kind of like, he's not quite a fraud, but he's the way he's been done.
I'm saying he'll expose himself to be a fraud as it goes on. Not right this second, but as his career goes on, he will be found out, and it will all become clear. Mystic Meg here.
If he doesn't fight Triple G in the next 2 fights, I'm fucking done with him. To be honest, I'm pretty much on the verge of being done with him at the minute. But I'm just gonna give him a wee bit of time, because he's clearly shitting himself, like I would be from Triple G. But maybe if people just keep calling him names and shit, he'll just throw the rattle out the pram like he did with Landy Lara and fight him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't compare the two. Lara was all he had to lose in that fight was his pride. Lara was never going to fucking hurt him. You knew, everyone said it was a risky fight. Risky for your resume, but not for your health or anything else. He knew going into that fight there was a very good chance of him beating that guy. He fought a member of the Who Wants Him club, but dangerous? Nah. Tough fight, maybe. Dangerous, no.
Yeah, Triple G would fucking kill him. It would actually be a fucking chalk line round him after Triple G gets through him.
Has Canelo fought a puncher?
Well,
at his proper weight that he hasn't dragged up or drained down.
What is his proper weight, though? No one knows.
Angulo's the puncher. You didn't drain him.
Nah, he was shot to fucking shit, though, Cam, wasn't he?
He was shot, but he still fought a guy.
Yeah, he could puncher, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess.
Kirkland's a puncher.
We're talking, yeah, okay. Punchers who are C's or D's.
Yeah, but now you're moving the goalpost, Leon. Come on.
I'm talking, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm slightly moving the goalpost, but I'm talking about a dangerous fight. I mean, who thought the Kirkland fight was going more than four rounds? Everyone knew what was happening in that fight. All I'm saying is, I don't know what I'm fucking saying anymore. I fucking quit. I tap.
Leon's tapped out. All right, boys. Anything else?
Nah.
All right. Thank you to you for being on the show. Lim also. Well, thanks all the guys in the Mixler chat and all the guys that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing